All right, rolling.
Hey, a friend of mine asked me for a few tips on tricks on getting started with juggling rings. She's just getting started. I figured the easiest way to get the video to her was to just throw it up on YouTube. So if anybody else stumbles across this video, this is a short and sweet tips and tricks on how to juggle rings for somebody who's already pretty comfortable juggling 3 balls. If you need a more detailed tutorial, I'm going to link in the comments to a video by juggler Taylor Glenn. She's a 15-minute long video on how to juggle rings. It's amazing, so you can go there for more instruction. So a little bit of theory. Rings are usually the logical next step once you learn to juggle balls. They're going to introduce you to 2 important concepts with toss juggling. One of them is spin. Unlike juggling balls, when you throw rings, they should spin. When you throw a ball juggling, usually you don't want to impart any spin to the ball if you can avoid it. The second thing is it's going to introduce the concept of planes. A ball doesn't have any planes. No matter how you turn it, it looks the same. A ring has a plane to it. It looks different this way than this way. So there you go. This makes rings a very good step between balls and clubs, which are more advanced. Just a few things about holding the ring when you're throwing it with one ring. Most jugglers grip the ring in the palm with the thumb on the inside of the ring and the fingers here like this. Optionally, some jugglers juggle like this with the thumb right on the edge. That's less common, but if you prefer it, go for it. When you're throwing the ring, your base, your sort of home position for juggling rings is a little bit higher than balls. So with ball juggling, I'm down here. I often use the coach that if you put like a broomstick across your bust line, you should be able to juggle without hitting the broomstick with your arms as you juggle balls. With rings, your position is a little higher, so your arms are more up here, like that. You notice when I throw the ring, it's not perfectly straight up and down. It's got a bit of angle to it. That's because the easiest way to throw it across is to tilt my hand, so it's got a bit of tilt. And the higher I throw the ring, the closer it comes to flat, whereas low throws have a bit more of an angle to it. Okay? Starting rings, it's really kind of your choice. I do 2 fingers on the inside between the 2 rings, 2 fingers on the outside. Some jugglers do 1 finger on the outside like this, and then a few jugglers do 3. It's really your choice. My advice is just pick one and stick with it, whatever's most comfortable to you. When you're starting, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Width of the pattern, sometimes because rings are thinner than balls, some jugglers get tempted to do a very narrow pattern right in front of themselves. That's not ideal because it restricts your arm movement. You want to make sure you're wide enough that your elbows can move comfortably at your side. So usually this width is about ideal, and this height is about right. You can see it from the side, it looks like that. As far as spin, for most people, sort of the natural motion of throwing and flicking the wrist imparts about the right amount of spin. If you discover that your rings are wobbling a bit when you throw them, that means you're not spinning them enough. So check that. Conversely, if you discover that the ring is sort of tracking back behind you, like that, that probably means you're flicking it too hard. Most people don't have that trouble though. Usually just sort of naturally, they fall into a reasonable spin rate for the ring. Usually for most people, the easiest way to stop rings is what's called a trap. So if I'm juggling, and I just stop there, the second ring coming, I'm gonna briefly open my hand and catch the second one. Wouldn't worry about that too much. Most people get it pretty naturally. Once you get comfortable with the basic pattern with rings, you can do the other basic drills I like to get comfortable with patterns. You can practice bringing it a little higher, practice bringing it a little lower, practice standing on 1 foot. Oops, okay, see, it's hard. Practice standing on 1 foot to improve your body control. You can always stick a beanbag on top of your head. Try to keep it there while you juggle. That's a good exercise. And finally, once you start to get more comfortable with the rings, like I mentioned, spin and plane play a big role in ring juggling. So unlike balls, rings often look more interesting from the side. And as you start to get more comfortable with your ring juggling, where I would go beyond those basic drills, is start to play with what plane you can spin the ring in. For example, I can throw a horizontal throw like this, and eventually I can turn that into a juggling pattern. So start exploring those things as you get more comfortable. Okay?